the beginning of the movie, you've got Michael Stuhlbarg, who is he has an idea for a crime, which is to rob the mayor on election night, because he's going to be throwing this huge party. And there'll be a lot of people there paying the mayor off to keep their contracts around the city. So we establish this mayor character as being corrupt, running a long-time corrupt operation of corruption and bribe and taking bribes and selling contracts and so forth. And Michael Stuhlbarg is hoping to steal all of that money on election night, but he can't find anybody to do this job. So he's got Jack Harlow's character, who promises to be able to find a couple people to pull this off. But no one wants to take this job, and he has to really kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel, where he finds me and Matt. And we were willing to do the job because, in part, we don't really know any better, or we don't really care. Jacob Milne is my character's name, called Cobby, and he's had a life of feeling, been a foster kid, and just has up until we meet him, we feel like he has been experienced nothing but abandonment and betrayal, and has felt sort of maligned and misunderstood and left behind and did time for someone else, and he's had a rough life, and he is nothing at all like Matt's character, who also we're meeting sort of at the rock bottom. These guys have nothing in common except that they're both at a kind of dead end in their life. Our story is the story of these two guys sort of being stuck together. At first, that part was a smaller part of a guy who really didn't ever speak. But Matt has, when he said, I'd love to do this movie with you, it was like, you're just not going to leave it that way. Matt's got 30 years of experience creating great parts and being fantastic in movies. And so then, it was sort of tailored to him and what he wanted to do. And whereas I play someone who's led a life of in and out of crime, and Matt plays someone who's sort of had all other kinds of bad things happen to him and made mistakes and things, but he's never been a criminal. And so he's on this job for it's sort of the first time he's ever committed a crime, really. So they're a funny pairing. For whatever reason, in my career, I've ended up playing a lot of dramas, tragedies, characters who have either had terrible things happen to them or their lives just haven't gone very well. And I've always wanted to do something that was more lighthearted and just comedic. And I love Midnight Run. I've seen that movie 20,000 times. I love Butch Cassidy and Sonny Scan. I love, and it's just, I haven't gotten to do that. So I thought, if I'm going to sit down and work on a script, I'm going to make it like that. And that's what we did. And I think that the tone is meant to live somewhere in there, but a movie is made by 300 people and they all contribute something, especially the director. So Doug came in. Doug has made so many great movies that are left or right of that exact same thing that I'm describing. They're really funny. He likes friendships. I remember being a teenager and watching Swingers and going back to the theater the next day to see it again because it was just so much fun. And so he seemed like the perfect person for it. And I asked Matt, Matt Gonvalde, I said, do you think Doug Lyman would do this? He was like, well, you knew him before. And I said, I can ask him. And Doug came in and said yes, and so it just became this kind of like perfect scenario and this dream job. The humor in the script has definitely evolved like over the course of the making of it. It never ended sort of its development, and even on the set when you're there shooting and Doug has an idea and Matt has an idea and I have an idea, and then it just keeps cooking until they say they're moving on. I hope it comes off as the kind of humor that I've seen in movies that have been favorite movies of mine. I just didn't get to do that much. Comedies, buddy comedies, friendship movies, the kind of stuff that it would have been hard, I think, to replicate with someone who I just met, wasn't really comfortable with, didn't have a shared sort of sense of humor. And so I hope that knowing each other for so long sort of creates a foundation where that can work. I think it should be a lot of fun. I hope that it's funny and fun, and it's entertaining. It's the kind of movie that you can watch over and over again. When we talk about like how much is too much in a scene, are we pushing the comedy or not enough? We usually come back to like we want to make something that people watch over and over again through the years. Of course, we'll be lucky if people just go the first time, but we aim to have it be something that people are going to want to return to.